Welcome in to the High School Spotlight. I'm your host, Taylor Nettle, and we've got an action-packed episode for you today. We recap the best moments from Week 4 of high school football. Plus, we look at how cross-country teams fared at the St. Joseph's Invitational. And we share the latest on St. Scholastica volleyball. Hear how the Doves are on fire just about halfway through the season. But first, we sit down with LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine for the second edition of LHSAA 101 right after the break. Don't go anywhere. The High School Spotlight is just getting started.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
Welcome back in to the High School Spotlight and into our second edition of LHSAA 101. Looking back at our first segment, we looked at how select and non-select came to be back in 2013. And today, we're diving into what happened in 2020 when the schools tried to reunify the playoffs. Today, I'm joined again by LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine. Mr. Bonine, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Look forward to it.
So we're going to go back from what happened from 2013 into 2020. Why did the schools want to come back together, and what happened when that proposal to reunify was introduced?
Well, at the time, we were able to actually get enough votes on the floor of the convention, the annual convention we have every year, to pass it. And at that point, we did have a simple majority, but the initial in 2013 wasn't necessary in that regard, meaning now we're in a position where we have to have at least 66% or two-thirds of the membership to pass something of that magnitude. And I think that was the gist of the fact that when we passed it initially in 2013, it just took a simple majority to do so. And when we dove into the data, we found that actually we had schools that didn't have football programs that were voting on the issue. So we felt it was important that if you don't have a particular sport, in this case football, or whether it be volleyball or tennis or whatever the sport might have, that maybe you shouldn't be voting on that particular proposal. That passed in regards to now if you don't have the sport, you can't vote on it. But also in that transition, it would take 66% in that proposal to get something passed of this magnitude. So now, we go back to that, what the graphic you just saw, is that in the old rule, we would have had enough to pass it under simple majority. Under the new rule, we came up with just a little bit short. That's why we're where we sit today.
So why does that two-thirds threshold matter, and why is it a touchy subject?
Well, anything we're going to do that has to do with the Constitution, we need to have two-thirds of the membership to vote on it versus just a simple majority. And that would just be basically a simple majority in the room of the day of the vote, not necessarily a simple majority of all the membership. So we felt there's something of that magnitude, specifically when it comes to this, in this regard, this split where we have select, non-select, at that time football. Now we have it obviously in boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball, that it needed to have a larger amount of membership to pass it, and that's what we did.
So the 2020 vote reflects both the interest of the member schools and the strength of constitutional safeguards.
That is correct.
Perfect. Well, in 2020, like we just went over, the reunification, they came close, but ultimately it fell short with that 2/3 requirement vote. In our next episode, we'll take a look at where things stand today, the challenges that the current system faces, and what the future might hold for Louisiana high school sports. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonine, for joining me again.
Pleasure. Our
High
pleasure.
School Spotlight. We'll be right back.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back. This past weekend, St. Joseph's hosted their Invitational, where we saw some of the best talent in the state. Our very own Spencer Verrett was at Highland and recaps the meet.
Another great weekend for cross country at Highland Road Park for the St. Joseph's Academy Invitational. Cooler temps leading to drops in times set up some exciting races for the finish. Lucy Kramer from Parkview Baptist led the way for the girls' race. The Kramers take the top 2 spots in an impressive showing.
So the race was pretty good. I mean, I kind of took it out a little quick that first bit, and so I definitely felt that towards the end. I didn't feel as great as I thought I would, but I just kind of tried to run and see where I would be, and it wasn't the best race, but I'm not completely disappointed with it. I was hoping to be a bit faster. It definitely wasn't a PR, so I'm just hoping I can get faster than my PR from last year and just build on that for the season. But it was a good little opener at Highland.
The Lady Eagles also bring home a stellar top 3 team finish, now hoping to push for another state title come November.
It is. It's so amazing every day because these girls are just getting so fast, and we have such a great team chemistry and bond, and so it makes it fun because throughout the whole race, since I was by myself, all I really focused on was running for them, and every time I heard my coach, she was telling me that they were right there with me. They were all working and pushing, and they keep PRing every week. We're getting our 4 through 8, just getting better and better, and then even our 1 through 3, we're doing good, and so it's just fun to just see where we are and keep improving.
It was another hotly contested boys race where it looked like it could be anyone's race, but Dutchtown's Shrey Shah pulled away in the end to bring home victory. Shah greeted by his proud dad watching his son win the race.
Oh yeah, I mean, the entire race, it was neck and neck with me and the other guys, and finally towards the end I started to break away a little. And, it's an amazing feeling, all those moments in practice focused on, being able to push whenever you're tired. And you feel all of that when I cross that line, just using what I learned in practice and getting the win. My dad was on the other side of the line, cheering me on. And, that's one of my favorite moments, just coming across and just seeing them there for me.
The Ruston Bearcats coming down to Baton Rouge walk home with 2 trophies on the day, winning the boys' meet and finishing second in the girls' meet. Bearcats head coach Dustin Cochran couldn't be prouder of where his group is at.
Start with the dudes since they won it. We haven't, these guys have never done it before, so they're practicing really well, and it's okay guys, let's get out there, let's experience having to get out fast, get bumped around. Usually when they race here in the past, they've been 30th and 40th coming out and they're getting pushed. And I'm like, guys, go ahead, go up there and let's compete. And I thought AJ and Josh did a really good job of it today. Luke did too good of a job getting out and then kind of blew up a little in the middle. And then Ben, I'm really proud of Ben Boudreaux, our 4th guy. He's maybe our fittest guy, but he said he got up that first hill and he said, man, my legs just don't have it. And I'm like, sometimes your legs ain't gonna have it. We're in the middle of the season, this ain't trying to pig it out, and he still passed people through the race. And then we had some big PRs on the back end. Those guys are young and they're learning. It was a lot of fun. And, girl-wise, it's the same way. Our 5 girl today lost her shoe. She has a PR 23 minutes from last year, and she's now she's trying to round up a team that can possibly get a trophy at a state meet. And it's okay, you're learning. This is a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff happening. I haven't had time to just really stop yet, but I saw a lot of good things. More positive than negative, for sure.
Another coach happy with the results this weekend was Jordan Reed of E.D. White. His team finished 5th in the boys' race and 4th in the girls' race. The Cardinals looking like the team to beat in Division II.
Well, this is a meet I feel like every team wants to come to. I think it's the biggest meet in Louisiana outside the state meet, and the course conditions are great. We're getting to the time of the year, like you said, the weather is great. And so that's our challenge to our team. There were 1 or 2 other meets locally, closer to Thibodaux, we could have gone to. And so we're addressing the team as why are we here? We're here for these other teams on the line, test ourselves against them. And I'm really proud of them. They all did that. They positioned well early in the race. They were highly competitive throughout the race. And the results showed that. We had a lot of season best times today. Again, top 5 finishes. I think 5th place, both boys and girls varsity. I believe our girls JV were runner-up. I need to see what the boys JV results were, but I'm really proud of them. And as far as the way our season is shaping up, we're right where we want to be, middle of the season. We have a lot of good competition in Division II to look ahead to the state meet. But we like where we're at right now.
The competition is heating up as we get ever closer to regionals and state for cross country. Reporting for the LHSAA Network, I'm Spencer Verrett.
Coming up, we take a look back at a thriller from last week underneath the Friday night lights between St. Thomas More and Neville. Don't go anywhere. The High School Spotlight will be right back.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
At Breck Golf Courses, we focus on the highest level of play. That means award-winning courses, state-of-the-art practice facilities, unique shot-making opportunities, and tournament-level playing experiences. With 2 championship courses located in the parish, Beaver Creek and Santa Maria courses make the perfect setting to test your golf skills. Find your next hole-in-one with Breck Golf.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
When looking for college, I wanted somewhere that would push me and allow me to kind of be the person I'd always wanted to be.
Everyone here kind of has this mindset of seeing the next person succeed, and I think that just creates a Southern Miss spirit.
You find what you need out of Southern Miss. What I need isn't what another student needs, but we all find something here.
You don't have to be what people have said you've been. You don't have to be what people think you are. Coming to Southern Miss, you can totally reinvent yourself and be who you truly feel like you are meant to be.
Checking back in on the high school spotlight, St. Thomas More came from behind to record their first win of the season against Acadiana. And last week, the Cougars did the same thing again against Neville. We dive into St. Thomas More's 27-23 victory over Neville. I'm joined here today with St. Thomas More offensive coordinator Shane Savoie. Coach Savoie, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's great to be with you, Taylor. Obviously, we must have done something positive for me to be interviewed, so thankful to be here.
Yeah, of course. I want to look back at last week. You guys coming back, winning that game against Neville. Talk me through what went into that victory. What adjustments did you make at halftime to where you guys came back in that second half?
Well, kudos to our kids for sticking with it and battling through. There really weren't a lot of scheme adjustments that needed to be made. When we were able to look at some of the film at halftime and see what was going on from an offensive standpoint, we felt like we were getting what we wanted in the first half. We just weren't executing. A lot of it was technique stuff that we had to get fixed, and man, the resiliency of our kids to be challenged in the way that they were challenged in their own play in the first half, to take coaching. And that's, I think, one of the greatest things about it is that these kids trust you enough in those moments when the pressure is on to trust that you have their best interests at heart, even though it may be critical, to come back out in the second half and apply those adjustments and then to see them have success with it. That's the beauty of coaching, and Friday night was just a great example of that.
We're about almost at that halfway mark through the regular season. Looking back at what you guys have done so far, starting off slow for the season, but then past two games, your guys have come back to win it. What is it about that fight and that grit that you've been seeing in those players that's improving throughout the season so far?
Well, I can't say that our schedule is intentionally set up the way it is. Our first four games, we play four of the best teams in the state. A lot of that is just the way scheduling goes. That's who we ended up with. However, it pays huge dividends for us. Getting to play teams like Neville, Acadiana, Catholic Baton Rouge, Karen Crow, they really expose your weaknesses. And in many cases, you don't get away with things that are going to show up later in district or even worse in the playoffs when you can't make an adjustment. At least now we know a lot more about our team after these first four games, because the opponents we're playing are such quality football teams. They're so well coached. It exposes our weaknesses and it forces us to get better. So how do I feel about ourselves? I feel like we've developed quite a bit over a 4-week span. There's a lot of things that we're starting to figure out, that we're starting to do better, that kids are starting to trust their coaching and applying it onto the field. And then there's still a ways to go, but at least the success of the last two games, being able to come back, really motivates our kids to trust in the process that we're trying to push them through.
One of those guys I got to ask about, the face under center, Cole Bergeron. Talk to me about that guy. What does he bring to this offense and this team?
Tremendous physical talent and an amazing young man. There's just a whole lot of positives to say about Cole. When you are highly touted the way he is, there's just a lot of pressure that's put on him externally, but also internally. So Friday night was actually a great lesson for him, an opportunity for him to really have to humble himself a little bit and grow. His first half wasn't what he wanted it to be. His first half, he didn't perform the way I think he wanted himself to perform, and he felt the pressure of that, yet he responded in a way at halftime and in the second half, and then also early in this week in practice that proves that that's what champions are really about. It's not always about winning the game. It's about how you respond to adversity, and then can you come back and find a way to win after that when things don't go to plan. And for that, I'm really proud of Cole. I'm really proud of Cole, just the way he was able to humble himself with his teammates and really kind of take ownership on a lot of the things that we were messing up or not doing well, and in a way kind of galvanize the team around him so that we were able to come out and perform in the second half.
You've coached a lot of good quarterbacks in your years. Cole, you've been working with him since the 5th grade, correct?
Correct.
What makes him so special? Is there a moment or a memory that you have of him where you're like, this kid's got some serious talent that you recall?
Well, his brothers were at St. Thomas More, and he was, at our feeder schools, and from then on he would come to our kids' camp. So I've always got to work with Cole, and he had the physical size, he had the arm strength, the athleticism kind of came on probably his sophomore year where he grew into his body and you could see the athleticism. So his physical ability has always been, on point with the guys that I've had that have been able to go into college and do some really good things. I believe, to me, it was the Neville game his junior year, last season, that really was the turning point for him as a quarterback. He had to understand how to sit back in a pocket. It's not a natural movement, or it's just not natural. Kids aren't used to standing there having to make decisions while 11 guys are trying to knock your head off. It's an awkward place to be in. And I think last year as a junior, the Neville game, he really kind of came into his own. He made some great throws in that game. Obviously, we didn't win the game. We didn't perform well enough as a team to win the game. But I can remember driving out of Monroe thinking, okay, I think Cole has now figured out what it takes to be a quarterback, and that's making decisions, being able to make really good decisions under pressure, and he does that really well. He did it really well on Friday, and it's been a big reason as to why we've had the comebacks that we've had.
I want to talk about this week. District plays opening up. You got Westgate ahead. What's the keys to success for your group this week?
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, and that's why we play the non-district schedule we do, is to get us ready for our district. And Westgate is another one of those teams who's played 4 quality teams in their non-district. Well, they played 3 non-districts, and then they've already played Turlings, who's probably the next top team in our district. It would say it's these 3 schools that are probably battling it out for it. But Westgate just poses another physical mismatch for us, if you could say it that way. And this is common for us. It's not something new, but Westgate has such great talent all over the field. They have a number of prospects in a lot of different places, especially in the defensive secondary, on the defensive line. And then the style that they play, I think they do a tremendous job of coaches of playing a style that fits their kids. It's very complimentary. And that for us, we've got to find a way to make sure that we're technically sound so that we can give ourselves a chance when we have those opportunities to make plays.
Awesome. Well, Coach Savoie, thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck this week.
Thank you, Taylor. Great being with you.
Coming up on the High School Spotlight, we sit down with West Monroe football's head coach to talk about the Rebels' victory over Catholic. Stay with us.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back into the High School Spotlight. Heading into Week 4, West Monroe's offense was averaging roughly 33 points a game, with their only loss against North DeSoto. The Rebels were tested on Friday night against Catholic, and our very own Spencer Verrett caught up with West Monroe head coach DeMichael Dizer to recap the 27-24 victory over the Bears.
Hi everybody, Spencer Verrett here, joined now by West Monroe football head coach DeMichael Dizer on the high school spotlight. They took down Catholic 27-24. Coach, it was a huge win, a win that a lot of the state was shocked to see. But I think you knew that your guys had it in them to take them down. Talk to me about the win, what it meant for the program, and how proud you were.
You know, I thought it was a tremendous effort by our football team and our football program. We're extremely excited about being able to, go in, compete in that football game, and then execute in the second half and come out on the winning side of it. But it was just a great atmosphere, a great high school football game, really good for our community. Our fans and everybody showed up all night and supported our football team throughout the duration of that football game. And like I said, man, it was just a heck of a game, and just extremely proud of how our kids competed and went down the stretch in that ball game. We showed a lot of growth, a lot of maturity as a football program, and again, just fortunate to come out on the winning side of it.
I think what stood out that was most impressive to me was you guys were coming off a loss against North DeSoto that I think you and everyone in the room that game knew we just struggled to tackle. And then you got Catholic High coming to town, and that's a team that if you can't tackle, they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to put a lot of points on you. So how proud were you of the work that went in that week to kind of fix what went wrong against North DeSoto to get that win?
Yeah, after North DeSoto, we always, it's part of our film breakdown. We chart missed tackles as part of our defensive chart, and we were not happy with the number of missed tackles we had, and so we went back to practice that week, and we went back to the basics, and we focused on tackling. And so to see that number go from 25 missed tackles versus North DeSoto all the way down to just 10 missed tackles against Catholic was really good to see. And ideally, we want to keep our missed tackles, somewhere in the single digits. And so we're moving in that direction. And we want to continue to do those things. And we just got to make sure, regardless of who's on the schedule, that we stick to teaching and implementing the fundamentals and basics of football, and that's blocking and tackling and doing it with a relentless effort. And our kids will continue to do that. And some games are going to be harder than others to, get people on the ground, but we've got to establish that as our mindset from a defensive standpoint, and we have, and we just got to make sure we harp on it every week. And hopefully, we don't go back the other direction, but again, our kids' effort has always been there, and we just got to make sure that from a defensive standpoint that we approach every ball game with the right mindset and mentality.
A guy on the offensive side that had a big game was Mr. Christian Pawnee. I think he called him the Pawnee Train on the Aaron Aces segment. Talk to me about that kid and what's so special about him.
Well, Christian, he's a workhorse, and we gave him that nickname, probably 2 years ago. Just watching him run the football and just watching him in practice, and all of our guys on defense, they get tired of trying to tackle him in practice, and I kind of dubbed him the Pawnee Train about a year or two ago, and it stuck with him. And he's a power lifter. I think he broke a record or set a record for a squat this past powerlifting season, and so. Man, he just loves playing football. He's an extremely hard worker, very smart kid. He's a really good human too. He does a lot of good things in our community. He takes his time and spends time with just kids all over the campus, young kids. And so, he's just a well-rounded individual. We're truly blessed to have him in our program, and we look forward to seeing the things that he's going to continue to do this season.
Last question I have for you, Coach. Another team from Baton Rouge taking a long trip up to Monroe. What you've seen from the Scotlandville Hornets on film and what you're expecting Friday night?
Well, again, Scotlandville's just like most teams on our schedule. They're very athletic. They're going to be well coached, and they're going to come in and they're going to try to compete, and they're going to make plays. And, we've had some good battles with Scotlandville over the years. But for us, again, we try to have the mindset and the mentality that we're not truly, concerned with who the team is on the schedule each week. We're trying to establish a brand of football that we want to be able to do week to week, regardless of the opponent. And again, that's just going back to the basics and fundamentals. We want to be able to block. We want to be able to tackle. We want to play physical football. And we want to do that week to week, regardless of who's on the schedule. But again, Scotlandville will be a good game. They're going to bring athletes. You can see it on film when you watch them, and so we better have our mindset. And my challenge to our team this week, with it being homecoming, and then coming off of emotional victory like last week, is can we hit the reset button and truly focus in on doing the things we need to do throughout the week this week with homecoming and everything going on around us, so that we don't have any mishaps or we go backwards this week and put ourselves in a situation that we don't want to be in versus Scotlandville. So they did a good job of it on day one and on Sunday, and again yesterday on Monday. So we'll see what day 3 looks like today on Tuesday.
Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us here on the High School Spotlight.
If you enjoyed that segment, make sure to check out our show Game Changers that airs on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Well, next on the High School Spotlight, another look back at Week 4 high school football with our Game of the Week recap between Ascension Catholic and Dunham, coming up right after the break.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard. Part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
No one ever thinks they'll be in this position. Buying medication online could put you here, or here, or here. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl kills. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Medical professionals can't even tell the difference between a real pill and one that is fake. At least not until they do your autopsy. Don't take anything online that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Checking back in on the High School Spotlight, our Game of the Week between Dunham and Ascension Catholic showcased the explosive offense cultivated by 5-star quarterback Elijah Haven and a dominant defense from the Tigers as they shut down the Bulldogs 42-7. Our very own Steve Schneider recaps our Game of the Week.
The Bulldogs of Ascension Catholic had played Dunham so close for 3 straight years in this series, but missed opportunities early, and this one kept that from happening in 2025. The Dogs' defense forcing a 3-and-out on the Tigers' very first possession, but jumped offside on a 4th and 4, so instead of punting, Dunham moved into scoring position, converting another 4th down, not just picking up the 7 yards needed, but falling on a fumble that could have ended the drive. Instead, Elijah Haven, with new life, threads the needle to Richard Montgomery for the first of 4 touchdown passes for this dangerous combo. But there was no quit in these Dogs. Plenty of big hits on defense, forcing a first-quarter fumble that led to the first of 3 first-half scoring chances in the red zone, 2 inside the 10-yard line. Yet each time they were turned away. The son of LSU great and assistant coach Kyle Williams, Reed Williams, just an 8th grader, swarming in the backfield, leading to a turnover on downs. The Tigers wasting no time in making Ascension Catholic pay for it. Early in the second quarter, Haven connecting with Montgomery, going for 61 yards and another score to make it 14-0.
Haven pass complete to number 8, Richard Montgomery. That's good for the Tiger. Touchdown.
Have you ever had a game better than this?
No, sir. It's one of my best games probably in my high school career, and I'm pretty happy to have it.
You didn't get a chance to hear the guys raving about all the plays, but did you have a favorite play? What was your approach in this game? You obviously kind of brought it to their defense.
Yeah, I think my favorite play was definitely, I think the one deep one was like a hitch and go. But I don't want to take all the credit because it really starts up front. O-line working their tail off. Got a great QB who can give it to me. So I mean, really just a whole unit.
And the Dunham defensive line would come up big again down near the goal line after Williams made a touchdown-saving tackle, forcing a 1st and goal at their 3. 4 plays later, the Bulldogs would be denied, although it appeared the ball might have crossed the plane. By the time officials could get there to check it out, it was shy of the goal line. An even more frustrating outcome for the purple and gold. On the very next play, Haven and Montgomery combining for their longest completion of the night, 63 yards. But these Bulldogs did weather that storm and move themselves into the red zone one last time before the half. However, a huge sack and a jump ball pick-6 that was later wiped off the board by a penalty provided just a glimpse of what the second half would look like.
Of Dunham. What a huge interception. And a long run coming by number 28. No one's going to catch him. He's in the end zone. It's 20-0 Dunham. Joshua Lazard runs the length of the field, 85 yards untouched.
Well, I think 3 trips inside the 10 and come away with no points. Absolutely great job by the defense. Offensively, we're just out of sync right now. Can't really run the football, and we'll be all right in the second half.
Dunham did start the second half with another score by Montgomery on its opening possession.
Still on his feet, walks a tightrope into the end zone. 31 yards on the pickup.
And one of the strangest onside kicks you'll ever see shows us that this was just going to be Dunham's night.
The ball ricocheted backwards, so again, the ball and everything is going in Dunham's favor right now, and definitely went 10 yards just the way the ball bounced.
As they reached a 42-0 lead and a running clock by the 4th quarter, giving head coach Neil Weiner a most memorable 100th victory as the Tigers head coach. And it's pretty cool that you've been at Dunham long enough to win 100 games. Can you think back to when you made that decision and what it's been like?
Yeah, I had a lot of my coaching friends thought I was crazy, but I was stepping out in faith and doing what I thought what God was leading me to do. Our first team meeting in 2014, we had 14 players show up. We ended up dressing out 27 that year. So we went from 150 kids at Zachary, coaching 27 awesome kids that gave their heart and soul that first year. And every year it's just been a whole lot of fun. I didn't realize it was 100 wins. That's pretty cool.
Congratulations to Neil Weiner, 100 wins at Dunham.
Coming up, we recap a Saturday game between St. Aug and Warren Easton. Don't go anywhere. The High School Spotlight Show will be right back.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. the Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Welcome back. Entering week 4, both St. Aug and Warren Easton were undefeated, but the Purple Knights overpowered the Fighting Eagles 47-22 to remain unbeaten. We dive into what happened in the Saturday matchup.
Saturday Night Football, a battle of unbeatens in the Catholic League right here at Tad Gormley. St. Augustine and Warren Easton looking to stay perfect on the year. The Purple Knights give up an opening touchdown to the Eagles, but here they come. It's Vashon Coulon to Miguel Whitley into the end zone for a touchdown. Tie ball game at 7. Next possession for the Eagles, and Carl Reed is sacked and fumbles. Senior cornerback Larry Johnson comes up with it. Purple Knights ball. Then it's Coulon to Whitley again for another score. It's 14-7 Purple Knights. Warren Easton unable to get anything going on offense. St. Aug back with it in the second quarter. It's that connection again. Coulon to Whitley for another score. 21-7, all 3 points coming from that connection. Keith Hill Jr. says he wants in on the action, takes this handoff for a score. Purple Knights dominate 47-22 to stay unbeaten.
I mean, look, this is our first game in league play and district play, and to come out with a win, to come out with, a big win, it's always good, because like I said, every week it's a juggernaut. So hats off to our kids. It's a lot of emotions and all that, both undefeated teams and a lot of chirping things, a lot of things we got to clean up, understanding how to play the game cleanly, but it's always good to do that when you come out with a win, and I think that, defensively, we were bend but don't break. They had some really good athletes that we had to contain and real huge offensive line, to be able to contain them and, give the ball, and offensively to be able to just be consistent, and be able to kind of, run the ball, pass the ball, and do what we need to do. That was, good job.
The connection on the night had to be Coulon to Whitley. Miguel spoke more about his connection with his quarterback.
Shoot, just coming in the game, just got to be motivated. Like, if they coming at me first, I got to catch the ball for my team to be motivated, for the defense to be motivated, and just balling out, just be focused and locked in on the game. So I had to get every ball that come my way. Oh, man, Tig a good guy. Like, even off the field, like, Tig just a cool guy to be around. Me and Tig, like, we do a lot of things together, so apart, like, some of that relationship come from off the field than like on the field. So, but at practice though, we be building that relationship too though.
It's just good. It's just good chemistry. I think that those guys, have good chemistry. I think that Tiggs, I think Vashon sees the matchups, and I think sometimes he trusts that his guys are gonna win his one-on-one, and so therefore I think that's like I said, that's always good to be able to do that. And so he controls our offense. Sometimes he checks out things, he sees some things, and he takes advantage of them.
Keith Hill Jr., another key piece to this St. Aug offense at running back, had a couple touchdowns on the night as well.
Our O-line, we prep like this the whole week. It started Monday. We watch film. Our O-line been doing what they do in practice, and I just react off my O-line. I thank my O-line.
And talk about a balance on offense. These Purple Knights can hurt you on the ground or through the air.
Yes, sir. It's gonna work well, cause like you can't stop. Like if you try to go stop the pass game, then you gotta be toting it. Now you gotta come try to stop the run. Stop the run. Going past it. Not much you could do with our offense, but be a dog.
Next up for St. Augustine, it's the all-time matchup against Edna Carr, and for Warren Easton, they'll take on John Curtis next week. Reporting from Tad Gormley for the LHSAA Network, I'm Spencer Verrett.
Coming up, another exciting Saturday game last week showcased the impressive Edna Carr Cougars. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Welcome back into the high school spotlight. Edna Carr has a talented football team might be an understatement. The Cougars have outscored opponents 164-20 and remain undefeated. We catch up on the latest with the nationally ranked Edna Carr Cougars.
The Edna Carr Cougars are off to another amazing start in 2025. The dominance was on display as they took down Holy Cross 42-3 to move to 4-0 on the season.
Well, number one is hot. Number two, I thought we ran the ball and played good run defense. Holy Cross could really run the ball, but I think the elements took over a little bit today. Playing at a 2 o'clock game, that's pretty rough on both teams, but, we played pretty clean. Fourth quarter, got a lot of substitution on special teams, but it was pretty clean for the most part.
A lot of people may ask, what has changed about the team from last year to this year? The Cougars lost plenty of talent in the receiving corps, which has brought the run game to the forefront.
Not much. I think we rely more on a running game than a pass game, but when we do throw it, we try to create explosive plays. But a lot of mistalk is today with the explosive pass play, but John made up for it with his legs, and that's the best thing about having a dual threat quarterback.
First half I had missed a couple reads. I could have had the opportunity to pull a ball. Halftime I had to talk to my quarterback coach. I started putting the ball and we started getting them big runs, big scores.
The best thing I love is having a quarterback that's a 3-year starter that can make the checks and make the reads for you, so you make our job a lot easier.
The run game helped by having dual threat quarterback and Warwick Dunn Award finalist John Johnson. Johnson can hit his targets through the air or hurt you on the ground.
Yes, sir. It's a big offensive change. They like to drop 8 now because, we passed so much last year. Now we got to make them start fronting the box to open the pass back up. That's why Trey Garrison get a lot of carries. I'm running in the light because they play in the light box. 5 in the box, we're going to take it every time.
A lot of his call, a lot of his RPO, a lot of his quarterback read, but he does a great job. In the first half, he did a good job of baiting them in, with Trey giving the ball to Trey. But then the second half, that's why we create that explosive with him in the run game.
The secret powerhouse for this offense? The line play. The Cougars boast a huge O-line that helps keep the pocket clean for Johnson.
Yeah, we got some 300-pounders on that line, so we got to lean on them a little bit, especially when it's so hot outside.
I feel like we have the best O-line in the state, from interior to the tackles, best O-line in the state. No complaints.
And the Cougars doing what they do best on defense, only allowing a first quarter field goal and dominating the rest of the way.
I think this is one of the first games where we didn't blitz as much. We really just played with our cover 3 shell and our cover 2 shell and just let our D-line just hold the gaps and let our linebackers run to the ball. It was a good plan, easy plan. We had a long week to prepare, so that gives us an extra day to load a lot of their fronts and a lot of their gap schemes, what they try to do offensively.
I also think we have the best defense in state. I think we're going undefeated and back-to-back.
Up next for the Cougars, the big-time matchup with St. Augustine Friday night. Reporting for the LHSAA Network, I'm Spencer Verrett.
Coming up, we check in on the volleyball court. Find out how the St. Scholastica Doves are looking to build off their experience from last season. Stay with us.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
When looking for a college, I wanted somewhere that would push me and allow me to kind of be the person I'd always wanted to be.
Everyone here kind of has this mindset of seeing the next person succeed, and I think that just creates a Southern Miss spirit.
You find what you need out of Southern Miss. What I need isn't what another student needs, but we all find something here.
You don't have to be what people have said you've been. You don't have to be what people think you are. Like, coming to Southern Miss, you can totally reinvent yourself and be who you truly feel like you are meant to be.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Welcome back. St. Scholastica Volleyball made it to the quarterfinals last season before falling short. But the good news, the Doves return a lot of experience and talent from last year's team that have been a huge part of their success this year.
Together on three! 1, 2, 3, together!
Together is the word this year for St. Scholastica Volleyball, and it has elevated the Doves' culture both on and off the court.
I know a ton of us, we talk a lot more in the huddle, and I think just even with that, being together on the court, spending a little bit more time talking to each other on the court has really sparked some growth. We obviously changed from saying Dove in the huddle to together, and I think in tough moments when we're down by a couple points, having that word really changes our focus from we're down by a couple points to we can do this together, we can come back together.
I think there was always that little build of just building off the culture we've already established, but this year we really made a point and emphasis to be together. Together, not just with the player and player relationship, but also the player and coaches relationship. I just feel like we really wanted to build on the trust between the team and the coaches, and then the players and also our varsity program with our JV program and our 8th grade program.
SSA is returning a lot of experience after only graduating 3 seniors. The confidence these girls got last year has been beneficial to build off of for this season.
Last year was kind of one of the first seasons that we had so many young people on the team. So it was obviously a learning curve for me last year to coach those young ones, to bring them up to experience the pressure situations that they were experiencing. This year we started right away with a tough schedule again, and to just see them blossom in those pressure situations instead of kind of falter was obviously a very proud mama and coach moment this year, and they just seem to be loving the experience instead of shying away from the experience.
Everyone knew what they wanted for this season, everyone knew what needed to change, so I think all of us having that experience really has just been really special.
I think since we've all had so much experience and we've known what it feels like to go through, be in that huge Cajun Dome and experience everything, and I think it really helps going into this season because everyone's had previous experience, and we've all experienced the loss and how much it hurts to lose. So I'm really excited for this season because we can really work through that, and it won't be something completely new for everyone on the team.
Head coach Lisa Cardinal is entering her 4th year at the helm of St. Scholastica volleyball, which also means that this senior class is the first varsity group she's coached all 4 years.
This is the first time I've seen them for all 4 years grow up under this program and grow up into the school. The maturity that they display this year, it's great to see. It's comforting to see. It's also fun to see. Seeing them grow up not just as volleyball players, but also as women and individuals has been very rewarding for my end.
Getting to know her these past 4 years has been so much fun, and especially this senior year, you can just tell the relationship's so much different. We just feel, speaking on behalf of all of the girls on varsity and JV, we just all feel so close to her, and I'm really excited for the rest of the season.
This year, the Doves are relying on their trust and confidence in each other more than ever. The strength of this year's team is that anyone can come up big in those high-pressure moments.
We really don't rely on one player to score all our points. Obviously, there's 6 people on the court, 7 with the libero coming in and out. We know that we can set almost anybody on our team and try to hold a block, that a team can't just scout us and stop one player to beat us. They have to be well-rounded just like we are. Our defense is way better than it was last year, which allows us to pick up more balls, keep rallies going more often, and then allow us to just set our different hitters on the offense.
The Doves have played an intense schedule full of top competition in the state. They sport a 13-4 record after their victory over Covington last night, and they are ready to keep facing these high-quality opponents.
We make great plays when we can, but consistency is going to help us beat some of those big teams. We've obviously already been battle-tested, but we still have more big schools to play in this October. Our goal is to show up and win every game for the remainder of October and put us in a great place when playoffs start.
We used to have a big struggle when playing these super big teams in the past, but I think since we've all had experience with it, and now we're all just so excited to play these big teams, it really helps us, not even for the confidence level, knowing we can beat these super big teams. Also, whenever we beat these big teams, it helps us go on with this confidence playing every single team in the future. So it's a really big help to play them in the beginning of the season, and just playing in general with them is playing against these big teams. I like how it puts us out there on the map, and we can work together and all have confidence in each other, knowing that we've played and beat these big teams.
What really makes this SSA volleyball team different is that their together mentality has fueled their hunger and drive at all times.
But the biggest thing that I've noticed in our team this year compared to the last few years is even when we were down, we never gave up. We always fought back. We never felt like the other team, we were going to let them take that game from us. The long rallies, even when they were tired, you could just see the fight in them. And I think that's what's really made the difference this year.
I think we all deeply care about it very much. And we there's sort of a personal level we all take it on. And I think it's really going to show whenever we go to state this year because everyone cares so much. And it's also everyone cares so much about each other. And not only do we want the win for ourselves, but we want it for each other and for all of our teammates and all of our coaches.
Coming up, we relive some of the best moments from Week 4 of high school football. Don't go anywhere. The High School Spotlight will be right back.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it? Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
Welcome back. We wrap up tonight's episode with one of the most exciting segments, the LHSAA Network's Pick 6, where we show you the big-time, show-stopping moments from high school football last week.
We start with number 1, an electric atmosphere at West Monroe to witness the Rebels upset of number 2 Catholic High, one of 2 5A upsets featuring furious comebacks by the home team. A TD pass from Brady Guillot to senior Sam Turner. 27-24 the final. Upset number 2 taking place in Lafayette as the Cougars of St. Thomas More trailed Neville most of the night, but saved their best for last with not 1 but 2 clutch TD tosses from senior Cole Bergeron. The second only made possible by a brilliant onside kick by Tyler Dills, recovered by Christian Bro. The dagger to Carter Moe, who cuts right through the Tigers. A tip pass into the waiting arms of Keith Hernandez, sealing the deal 27-23. And a three-pointer deciding the Brother Martin Jesuit game is pick number 3.
6 seconds to go. Maximo Barrios' 37-yard field goal to win it just gets in there. Brother Martin takes it 31-29.
He's been out all pretty much all year, just got cleared this week to kick for us, full on. Really proud of him. He didn't have the greatest night. This is what I'm really proud of him about. Didn't have a great night punting. Last punt, he didn't have a great punt. Say, hey man, you never know. You could have a game winner coming up.
Pick number 4, a repeat from St. James senior number 4 Kai Villanova, who's piling up serious numbers in receiving with limited playing time. In a 54-0 blowout of Ponchatoula, he quickly contributed 2 of the game's first scores, making 6 grabs for 113 yards before the contest was no longer in doubt. Pick number 5 is number 5, Elijah Haven and his Dunham Tigers, the nation's number 1 quarterback in next year's recruiting class, picking up 6 touchdown passes at the expense of Ascension Catholic. Despite missing 3 of his favorite weapons on offense to injury, Jarvis Washington, Chris Thomas, and especially Richard Montgomery made out just okay. A 42-7 rout of a team they had beaten the last 3 years by just a combined 5 points. Montgomery stealing the show. He had 4 touchdown catches in just 3 quarters of action. And pick number 6 is the Shaw Eagles. In a determined effort against unbeaten and number 1 ranked LCA, exemplified by senior DeAndre Franklin, fighting for every last yard on that last play. But the most glaring factor for the Eagles, 6 picks of senior quarterback Braylon Walker, who could only produce 2 scores in a 31-13 road defeat. With the Pick 6, I'm Steve Schneider.
Our game of the week will be Jules Sumner and Franklinton on Thursday, October 2nd. You can find live coverage of that exciting matchup right here on the LHSAA Network. Make sure to tune in next week for another high school spotlight, where we show you some of the best high school sports teams around the entire state. Thanks for watching the High School Spotlight.